Anna, coming to you from the Beehive at cubiesquest.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make these sweet granola bar covers using the mini treat bag thinlits and the painted harvest bundle. These little granola bar covers are so cute. They just slide on and off the granola bars, and they're perfect for your fall events. Let's get started and I'll show you how to make these. To start off with, you're going to need your Big Shot, and I've got my magnetic platform on here and a cutting plate. You're going to need a piece of designer series paper or cardstock, and to make this easier for myself, I've cut this piece to 12 inches by 3 inches. You can also make this cover out of cardstock. In that case, I would cut my piece of cardstock to 11 inches by 3 inches. So I'm just going to put this on my cutting plate, and it's just going to stick out a little bit through the machine. Then I'm going to need my mini treat bag thinlits, and normally you would need both this bigger piece and the smaller piece, but I'm going to make this cover just using this smaller piece. I'm going to place this die on the end as far as possible to the edge, and then I'll put my second cutting plate on top, and then we'll run it through. And this is the piece that it cuts. Now I'm going to run it through again. There should be plenty of room to put the second die on top. And put my second cutting plate back on and then run it through again. So now you have two pieces that have been cut with this die. Now we're going to have to run each of these through one more time. So I'm going to take this piece that I just cut and I'm going to turn it over to the back side, and I'm going to make sure my jagged side faces towards the right. And then I'm going to take my die and I'm going to have this tab here up at the top, which will match the tab up here at the top. But the jagged cutting side is going to be on the left, and the jagged side of the designer series paper we cut is going to be over on the right. So I'm going to just line up the bottom with the bottom, and the jagged side is just going to be just inside the die. So I'm going to hold it up so you can see how the tabs match up. The jagged side is now on the straight side, and we're going to cut a new jagged edge down here on this side and cut off part of the tab here at the top. And then I'm going to put my second cutting plate on top and run it through. This is what it looks like. So now I have a jagged edge on both sides. Now we're going to do that same thing with the other piece. So again, that jagged edge that we just cut is going to line up with the straight edge. And then we can take the second cutting plate, place it on top, and then run it through. And here are the two pieces we just cut. I'm going to flip them over to this side because I want this pattern to be on the front of the cover. And I'm going to fold them along the score lines. And I'm going to take one of these tab pieces right here, and I'm going to put Tombow along the tab. And then I'm going to take the straight edge and I'm going to line it up with the edge of the tab, and I'm also going to try and line up my jagged edges over on the side. They might be just a little bit off, but try and line them up as best as possible. If you want, you can flip over to the back side and make sure it's lining up pretty well. The main thing you want to make sure is that the edge of the tab or the bend of the tab is lining up with the edge of this piece. And then we've got this other tab right here that we need to glue down. And I'm just going to run a length of Tombow along that tab. And then we can fold that one under, and then it will fold together to create the pocket. like that. And so on the inside, that's where you're going to slide in the granola bar. So let's set this aside for a moment so we can create some embellishments to put on top of it. I love the sunflower from the Painted Harvest stamp set. So we're going to need a scrap piece of very vanilla cardstock. We're going to need the crushed curry ink pad. And I'm going to start with the bigger of the two sunflowers. It's a two-step sunflower. So I'm going to take the bigger one, ink it up, and just stamp it on my very vanilla piece. Then I'm going to take my soft suede ink pad, open it up, and I like to stamp the center as the second part of this image. And I'm just going to stamp it right in the center of my sunflower. And then I can take my second part of the sunflower and I can line it up around my middle. And I'm going to do this, I'm just going to peek and make sure you can see just a little bit of a brown edge sticking out from the center. And then stamp it down like that. We don't have a punch that exactly matches the sunflower, but the Starburst punch punches out this flower image really nicely, and it will also match the edges of our cover. So just center your flower on there and then give it a punch. And this stamp set has the perfect greeting to stamp on the back. It says, "Your kindness means so much more than you will ever know." And so you can just ink that up and stamp it on the back. And then I'm going to turn this into a bit of a tag, so I need to punch a hole for that. So I'm going to take a pencil, I'm just going to make myself a little mark up at the top, and then I'm going to take my 1/8 inch handheld circle punch, and I'm just going to slide it in. I'm going to peek from the top to see where that punch is hitting that hole, and when it lines up, I'm going to punch it. And now I've turned it into a little bit of a tag. I also want to add some leaves to the sunflower. So I'm going to take a piece of Always Artichoke cardstock and my Always Artichoke ink pad. And I'm going to take the leaf image from the Painted Harvest stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it twice. Then I'm going to take the leaf punch, which can be purchased as part of the bundle, and I'm going to punch it out. I'll line up the stem first, and then I shift the leaves so that they're in the right spot, and then just give it a punch. And I'm going to do the same for the other one. Then I like to add a little bit of ribbon, and I found this jute twine. It looks really nice for fall themed cards and projects. So I took a 16-inch length of this jute twine. It's a little bit thick, so I'm going to unravel it so that I can use just one strand of it. So to do that, I'm just going to untwist the end, and then I'm just going to go along and just start untwisting these threads. Kind of have to unravel and then let it go, and then unravel and let it go, unravel and let it go. So here I've extracted one of the threads. It kind of breaks into 3 threads, so you can unravel the rest of this, and then you have 2 more threads to use for your granola bar covers. So I'm going to just take this and I'm going to wrap it around twice, and I'm going to bring these threads, these ends, to the top, and then I'm going to tie them into a bow. I'm going to make my first knot, and if you have a pair of locking tweezers, that really helps to hold down that first knot while you're tying a bow. It kind of works like a finger. And then you can tie your bow, and then you can remove the tweezers and just adjust your bow so it fits the size of your packaging. Then to add the sunflower to the card, I'm going to do a little trick. I've already punched my little circle in here, and now I'm going to make a little slit from the edge of this tag right to that punched hole. So it just kind of opens it up a little bit. And now I can use that slit, and I can use it to scoot my tag around the bow. So I'm just holding my bow up, and then I'm going to just open up that little slit, and that little hole will be right where the bow goes through. So we'll just hang like that. And then I can add my leaves with a little bit of Tombow. So I'm just going to put a little bit on the stems right here. And then I can just kind of tuck this underneath the punched piece and underneath the twine a little bit. And I'm going to do the same for this other leaf piece. And I'm just going to tuck this in and push it down like that. Then for the granola bars, I'm going to use Nature Valley granola bars. They fit perfectly inside of here, and it comes in many different varieties. So I'll just take one of these, and then I can slide it in through my cover. And doesn't that look pretty? So these were the ones that I made, all with different patterns from the Painted Autumn Designer Series paper. And I think they would just really look nice on a table as a little snack for one of your events. You could also make these out of cardstock. And here's one that I've done using crumb cake cardstock. So you would kind of just do the same thing. Instead of using Designer Series paper, you would cut your pieces out of crumb cake cardstock. And then I just stamped the sunflower randomly over top of the two pieces, and you would bring them together as normal. So there you go, a really fun way to dress up a granola bar. All the supplies you'll need to make these sweet granola bar covers are available for purchase on my blog. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Bye for now.
If you like this tutorial, be sure to check out all the free with purchase tutorials available on my blog. The Hershey's Wine, Champagne, and Margarita Glass tutorial is just one of the exclusive tutorials that you can choose free with a minimum purchase in my Stampin' Up! Store. Hi, it's Brenda again. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. You can also visit my blog for more information on my projects and to learn about my rewards program, or just watch another one of my videos. Thanks for watching.